What is up, everybody? My name is Hector Flores, host of the Insert Name FC podcast, a member of the Belly Up Sports Media Network. You can find us on all things podcasting, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast fixed from. That's how you can get the audio version. The full video version of this podcast, however, is available on Belly Up's YouTube channel. So go to YouTube, check Belly Up Sports, and you will find us there. Another way you can watch the video version of this podcast is through Goals TV, goz.tv. And also, we have a YouTube channel. We usually break these episodes down into shorter videos, and then we post it on our YouTube channel over there. So check it out if you guys want something a little bit more digestible instead of a hour-plus long podcast. If that's what you prefer. Also, those videos are also available on goals.tv. So, by the time this episode drops, it should have already been official. So, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Insert Name FC is a finalist. We made the short list for the Football Content Awards. It was actually brought to my attention by them. They messaged me on Twitter or X, I guess. They reached out to me about applying the podcast, putting them up for to be judged, to be in a category. And so we received an email. Like I said, as of right now, they should have already announced it. But yes, we are officially in the short list for the category Best Podcast International. So these ceremonies is based down in England, in the UK. So the award ceremony is going to be Thursday, November 20th. That is going to be the awards. They're going to start fan voting Monday. So Monday it's already started. So you guys can go ahead and go right now. We'll post the link on this episode, and we'll share it obviously across social media for anybody that wants to go ahead and give us a vote for best podcast, but best international podcast, I guess you could say. And to me, it's a tremendous honor. I mean, just to be nominated, just to be in this category, just be featured in this awards is already more than enough for me. And I think it's really awesome that they took the time to check out what we got, and felt that we were good enough to be mentioned across all the great shows, and that they probably got to listen and yeah, man, it's a tremendous feeling. I'm very grateful. This podcast was pretty much just an idea, obviously a COVID idea. And did I know where this was going to take me? Not really. But I just wanted to have fun with my best friend and get some laughs and cause conversation. And when this was reached, this isn't the first time some sort of like content awards reached out for me to like apply for a nomination. So I was very hesitant throughout the process. If you don't know, I forgot what the award show was called, but I applied twice because they once again reached out to me twice to apply for a nomination. And honestly, I felt like it was a massive waste of time because it just did not feel like they were going to award I don't want to say independent, but the smaller guys, right? Like the guys that don't have like the clout of an ESPN or a BBC and I mean respectively so. Obviously, they have the revenue, they have the facilities, they have all the things that would gain them an ideal amount of resources, right, to have a proper podcast and do all that, versus where me and Edward recording through Zoom or when we were recording in person, where the audio was just kind of janky at times. It's so I kind of I was kind of hesitant to apply again just because like I think I just had like a negative experience from the other award show. But when I was scrolling through and learning about the football content awards, I felt like, you know what, let me throw my hat in the game. Like let me see what happens. And yeah, I didn't expect to be on the short list. I really didn't. And for the people at the Football Content Awards, I'm once again, I appreciate everything that the time that they took to listen to the podcast, the time they took to go through, I guess, our content and to say that these guys, we want these guys here. Don't tell me the actual reason. Don't tell me that we were like one of the few international podcasts. Like, don't tell me that. Let me live in what you guys offered. But yeah. So voting is available. Like I said, we'll post it regularly on our social media. We'll also in these episodes we'll feature the link so you guys can help us out and see if we can get an award out of this. So once again, I'm tremendously honored and thank the Football Content Awards Committee, the judges, but also thank you to everyone that has never made Edward and me feel like we needed to quit. That never made us feel like our show sucked. Maybe it does. I really don't know. But I really appreciate that. And so, but yeah, thank you to everyone. Thank you to Football Content Awards, and thank you to Goals TV. Thank you to Belly Up Sports. Thank you for everyone that has given us love and support. And yeah, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, go ahead and give us a vote, and hope we can do you guys proud. But yeah, also follow us on social media. I mean, I just mentioned X, so X at Insert Name FC, X Facebook, Instagram at Insert Name FC. It's where you can find all our content there. So make sure you guys check it out. Watch a bunch of cartoons of us. So that's exactly how you're gonna find us. So there is that. But yeah. Episode 231, right? 231. It's gonna be a little different. It might be short. It might be short. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is probably gonna be pretty short. We got topics. We got headlines this week. We got Jose Mourinho and where he's ending up now. We got Messi. Messi might be extending. We'll talk about share my thoughts on all that. And Mudryk making a career change that we might get to see him here in the United States at some point. We'll talk about that as well. Give you guys players of the week. Give you guys some games to look forward to this coming weekend. We do have another jersey bet this weekend. So it is Spencer and me again. So back to back, Spencer and Hector matchups. Shout out to Martinelli for getting the draw to secure the point to get us the point for my team's behalf and also for Arsenal. So we'll talk about that as well. But we'll not talk about that. But yeah, pretty short episode. Like I said, won't be too long, I think. And yeah. So once again, thank you everybody. And we'll take a break and then go right into headlines and Jose Mourinho. Let me tell you guys about Belly Up Sports. Belly Up Sports is the internet sports bar. Go ahead and check out their website, www.bellyupsports.com, to read some great articles from great writers all across the country, from hockey, baseball, golf, soccer, you name it. Belly Up Sports is the premier, not your average website. All right, so before I get into the whole Jose Mourinho thing, I just want to talk about due to the weather, Marseille and PSG Le Classique is actually being pushed to Monday. So obviously the game's already been played by the time this episode drops. The interesting part about that is the day of the Ballon d'Or ceremony. So everyone's got like tinfoil hats coming. Like I said, I think it is the most agreed upon probably a very well agreed upon that it should be Ousmane Dembele that should win the Ballon d'Or. Obviously, he won't be present because he would have a match being played. But there are some people that feel that because of that, that the award could be going to Lamine Yamal. And the reason why they say that is because I believe Barcelona is flying Lamine to France, obviously, because that's where the award ceremony is at. Flying to France, and he's going to have a lot of family there. Which, I mean, it's not like the Ballon d'Or is not the only thing that's being awarded. Obviously, the uh, goal of the year, team of the year, uh, the women's Ballon d'Or winner, the best goalkeeper. So there is other awards that are going to be awarded at this ceremony, but obviously you know it's just interesting that I don't know. Maybe it's not that really that interesting, man. I mean, you could have just I guess what most people are trying to figure out is you could have just postponed that game to another day, right? Like you could have moved it somewhere else, not the day of the Ballon d'Or ceremony. When you have a person that is at least the odds-on favorite to win the Ballon d'Or, in Ousmane Dembele, who had just an amazing season last year, winning the treble for PSG, winning their first ever Champions League for PSG, and very much being a part of that team to get all those accolades. And so I think this is just everyone kind of hoping that it's not going to be the Lamine Yamal glazing. And which I mean, Barcelona did have a really good season. They won, obviously they won, got a domestic double, domestic treble if you want to count the Super Cup, but winning the Copa del Rey, winning La Liga. But on the flip side, you could argue for Rafinha as well. So it's kind of like interesting enough to that extent. I know some people also want to give some love to Mohamed Salah. I mean, Nick Gable, writer for Belly Up Sports, would like to see him win the Ballon d'Or. He's very much a Premier League guy, and I think he definitely it should hold more weight. I mean, no offense to Ligue 1, but once again, I think not only did he have the year that he had in Ligue 1, but he also had the year that he had in Champions League as well. And I think that at least, like, if it was just Ligue 1 and they didn't win the Champions League final, then I would probably say that like his odds are a little bit like drop a little bit. But I mean, Rafinha, I think statistically was definitely better than Lamine Yamal, and I mean Lamine Yamal, just what he's doing for his age, it's just impressive of its own in its own way. So I get all those factors in. Now, once again, and at this point, this might be just a giant moot point because, come Monday, I might somewhere near the end of this topic, I'll probably do like an update of who won the Ballon d'Or, and if this conversation was just completely a waste of time, which would be hilarious if that is the case. But I don't think that there's any paranoia. I think it just happened. Like Classique was pushed to Monday. I think maybe a bad part on Ligue 1 to, you're gonna have a player that's at least gonna be sitting, at least being sitting next to like the two other potential Ballon d'Or winners. And you would hope that he's the one that's getting put on, being brought to the stage to be lifting that Ballon d'Or. So I think I still very firmly believe that it's going to be Ousmane Dembele. It'll be crazy if it's not. I will have a lot of things to say next episode if that's not the case. But we'll see, man. We'll see how it all transpires there. But like I said. I very much believe it should be Ousmane Dembele. I think he had a spectacular year, an impactful year for his club. I mean, nothing gets better than your team's first ever Champions League title and being part of that team. But I also understand that Rafinha and Lamine Yamal had an amazing, impactful run for Barcelona, and I think that they are definitely deserving of being in the conversation. I just think what Ousmane Dembele pushed himself a little bit further ahead of them, if that makes any sense. But like I said, update's probably going to be right around here. All right, guys, quick update. Like I said, there was going to be an update. So Marseille did beat PSG. I don't remember the score, but it doesn't really matter. So they played the game, and then I would assume because Dembele was very much present because he won the Ballon d'Or, as he should have. For people that are gonna disagree on it, I don't know, suck a dick. I really don't know what to tell you. Um, we'll get more into depth of our thoughts on the Ballon d'Or itself next episode. But yeah, Ousmane Dembele is officially the 2025 Ballon d'Or winner, respectively. So I don't think that there was many people that would have. I'm sure there's people that didn't want Dembele to win it, but I mean, the accolades are there. I think he checks all the boxes. So yeah, if you guys aren't happy with it, well, I didn't vote for him. I can't vote for him. So get mad at the French media if that's how you feel. So no, yeah. So like I said, there's a lot of things I want to say. I don't want to say it right away because next episode we're going to cover it. We're going to go fully break down the Ballon d'Or. So I don't want to take too much away from that conversation. So yes, congratulations, Ousmane Dembele, 2025 Ballon d'Or winner. And he was present to lift the Ballon d'Or. So congratulations. But all right, Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho, if you guys do not know, Jose Mourinho was sacked by Fenerbahce earlier this season. It was actually around the same time as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Eric Ten Hag getting sacked by their respective clubs, it was just like a little fun thing about Manchester United. Let's laugh more at Manchester United, even though they did have a good win against Chelsea. But yeah, Jose Mourinho was let go by Fenerbahce. I will honestly tell you, like it's just gonna be weird if we never see Jose Mourinho manage. I think that he's not the guy that's gonna take, like, he's not gonna be like Jurgen Klopp, who takes like a break, a sabbatical from managing. I think he just needs to be in that environment. Like that's what he lives for. National team wise, I don't ever see him doing that because I think he needs it to be every single day. Like, I think he just lives for that kind of. Now, it's a fair thing to argue that has the game passed him by. I think it's totally fair. I think the reason why I say it's totally fair is because he hasn't really been like that guy as a manager as of lately to me. Like, I mean, I like, he hasn't really won anything significant in quite some time. Yes, the Europa Conference League with Roma. That was probably like the recent one, making him the only manager to have won all three of those trophies, descending wise, but still has won all three. I think, but obviously Roma. It looked like it was going to be a good relationship with him and Roma. Obviously, his familiarity with the Serie A. But it just didn't pan out, and that's when he got the opportunity to go to Fenerbahce, which I'm not trying to say Turkish league is like a terrible league by any means. Fenerbahce is a really good club. It developed, a lot of big names come from that club. A lot of big names have played in that club. Obviously, they have to go up against Galatasaray, who is also a very dominant force in the Turkish league, as well as Benfica, and Trabzonspor was in the conversation not that long ago, won the league title not that long ago. But I mean, it's always been Fenerbahce and Benfica and Galatasaray in the conversation for the Turkish Super League, and it's just, I think with a club like Fenerbahce, who probably want to be back on top of Turkey or Turkey, I feel like they just weren't getting the results they wanted from Jose Mourinho. I think Jose Mourinho was being super outspoken, as he usually is. I think if you're gonna have Jose Mourinho, you have to understand that how he's gonna be. Like, this isn't new at this point. Jose Mourinho is arrogant. He is cocky. He believes he is the best thing since sliced bread. And honestly, I'm kind of do appreciate his confidence in himself. but I can also get where it could be annoying as hell at times. But so he gets sacked by Fenerbahce. I can't really tell you where they are in the table right now. It was also very early in the season, but obviously once again, Fenerbahce, I believe, just doesn't feel like they're getting the results. And I don't think Jose Mourinho necessarily liked his move to Fenerbahce. I don't think he really cared too much about the Turkish league. And I think that is why, also a combination of those two things led to him being sacked by Fenerbahce, and now he's back in the market. And I think because of what happened with Fenerbahce, I think what happened was Jose Mourinho really wanted a job, and he wanted to start working right away. And when the opportunity that Fenerbahce presented itself, once again, I think a club that has historical significance in Turkey, did draw his attention. I think that he maybe wanted to see what he can do in a league like the Turkish Super League. And when he got there, I can't tell you what he felt. I don't know what he thought. Maybe he felt the league was a little bit beneath him. I can't tell you. But it didn't work out. It just wasn't it wasn't a great partnership. It just didn't work out. And that's why he left after basically one season. And I think now he wants to make sure he picks the right job for him that makes the most sense for him, not just besides him just wanting to feed his itch for coaching. Like, he wants to make sure that, one, this is going to be a good place for him to manage, and two, like, it just has to make sense for him. The move has to make the most sense for him. I think one or two just happen to be. I think it's the same fucking thing. Sorry for cussing, Kelsey, but yeah, and that club ends up becoming Benfica. Jose Mourinho signs a 2-year deal with Benfica, a league that, well, obviously he's from Portugal. Jose Mourinho is Portuguese. He obviously managed in the Portuguese league. He had FC Porto, where he did win a Champions League title with Porto. So he has a lot of familiarity with this league. Obviously, the league has changed dramatically since he left. And I mean, that FC Porto team was very much a very loaded team. If you guys want to, I'm just going to say this. You should probably Google that Champions League team, by the way. Stacked team of guys that went on to do great things in other clubs. But he signs a 2-year deal with Benfica. And fun fact, this was actually Jose Mourinho's first job. He managed Benfica. That was his first job as a manager, which he did in fact resign after 10 days because he just didn't agree with some of the changes that the leadership was doing. He was given an opportunity to step down, and he took it. And the rest is rock and roll history in that matter. So I think Benfica is another club very similar to Porto, who is really good at finding players. They're really good at being that good stepping stone team to these guys to take the next step. Just don't look at João Felix. But I think that this is a good place to go for Jose Mourinho, kind of, in some sense, like kind of how Edward said about Manchester United. Go back to the basics. Go back to, sometimes you just got to go back. And I think that that's what he's doing right here. I think trying to figure out his next step, his next calling. And I think Benfica is a good combination. I think it's a good club, has great resources compared to other teams in the Portuguese league. He is going to have a lot of talent there. And I think, once again, they have more resources. They have better resources than other teams in Portugal, so they'll be able to go after players that would be fit to the liking of Jose Mourinho. Hey guys, this is Hector from the INFC podcast, here to tell you guys about Canada Dips. It is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip, using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice. Canada Dip CBD is the new evolution in dip, allowing guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without the downsides. If you guys want to go ahead and try them out, use the code BELLYUP20 at CanadaDipCBD.com. Once again, BELLYUP20 at CanadaDipCBD.com, and you'll get yourself 20% off your purchase. Thank you again for Canada Dips for being a great partner of Belly Up Sports. It's not an easy league, though. You do have FC Porto, who is still very much a force, and Sporting, who has been recently has come back into that conversation in the Portuguese league. So this is not necessarily an easy task for Jose Mourinho. Benfica also a very good team, but still, I think there is still a challenge in play, and I think so. There is a challenging aspect to it. He's in his home country of Portugal. He's playing in a league that he's going to have some serious competition with. He can't be resting on his laurels. He's going to be challenging himself, and I think that this is kind of that combination of things that makes the most sense to him, and it'll work. Hopefully, it'll work out. Now, Jose Mourinho does in fact have a cycle. I don't believe the cycle happened at Porto by any means, because I think, if you guys don't know the cycle, he goes to a club, he gets a result, and then people just get very much tired of him after he brings in questionable after questionable players. As I can speak for it, as someone that was one of his teams that he managed was Real Madrid. A lot of questionable signings, a lot of guys that didn't understand. But he was a special one. He was the special one. He knows what he's doing. He's the best. He's the best manager in the world. And it got tiring, especially when you still kept falling short against Barcelona. And did he win a league title? I think he won a league title. Obviously, never won Champions League. I think he won a Copa del Rey, but never won a Champions League at Real Madrid. Sorry for yawning. But I think it's an interesting I think it's an not matchup comparison. I think it's an interesting match made. It's like an interesting matching. A match. This partnership could work. Once again, I think it does check the boxes for Jose Mourinho. And I think on top of it, the icing on the cake for me is that Jose Mourinho gets to be back home. And I think sometimes that helps a lot tremendously for people. It's just going back home. Like when I think about my time in the service, one of the things that I was so, I had some choices. I had some choices where I could have gone after the military. I could have gone the contractor route and continued doing what my job was in the Marine Corps. But once again, I'd be away from home. Or I could have chose the college route. I could have gone to any other college as well. But at the end of the day, I think for me, when it came down to it, I wanted to be home. I wanted to be back in Texas. I specifically was I wanted to just be back in Texas. I didn't really care if I was gonna be, and I think I was like within driving distance of Houston. I think was more important to me. But because I did go for the contractor route. There was an opportunity that was like in Kingsville, Texas, which is near Corpus Christi, and I really was very interested. I was very much in the conversation for it. Fortunately, I didn't get the job, which to me was like okay, this was my sign that I am not going to continue in this path. So let me go to college, and that's what happened. I moved back to Houston. I went to Texas Southern University, and the rest is history. So, and I think it did wonders for me to be back home. Transitioning out of the military is not an easy feat. It really isn't. And I think having my family as a support system throughout my transition into civilian world helped me tremendously. I think that was a big factor into why I was able to get adjusted into civilian life, along with help with some really good friends as well. So I think because of that, with that support system, my transition into the military was a lot easier than most. And it ended up being a good benefit for me, and I've never looked back since. So I don't go back and look at that. Man, I should have I wish I would have got that job in Kingsville. I don't. I'm in the now, and I'm happy where I am at right now. So there's that. But kind of coming back to Jose Mourinho. As of right now, they do have Benfica does have a match on Tuesday, which obviously by the time this podcast drops, it'll already been played. So they are still in second place. I believe even with a win, they'll still be in second place. So as of right now, they are in second place behind FC Porto. Once again, it's still early in the season, and obviously come Benfica versus Porto, that's going to be a really important matchup, a real 6-point opportunity. But obviously, Benfica needs to do their job and to handle their business, and same thing for Porto. So I think that this is going to be it's going to be interesting to see what happens in Portugal. If you guys didn't have a reason to watch the Portuguese league, I think maybe some people do now, and could be intrigued as to what's going to happen at Jose Mourinho. Can he make Benfica? Can Benfica thrive with Jose Mourinho, and does Jose Mourinho's tactics? Does he challenge himself to now evolve with this current game? We'll see what happens, man, and I can't wait. I will be watching the Portuguese. I have watched the Portuguese league. Mainly, I watch it for Benfica versus Benfica, Porto, and Sporting. Or if there's a player that I want that might be going that's linked to Real Madrid, I'll go look at him. Or at Arsenal, like Victor Gyökeres, I was watching some Sporting matches to see what this kid was all about, and not kid, young man, a man, what this dude was all about. So it's a good league, man. I honestly say I enjoy watching it thoroughly. You should probably give it a try, see if you guys like it over there as well. But that is Jose Mourinho. He's coming back home, and we'll see what happens there, man. All right, Lionel Messi. So for quite some time, Inter Miami has been pushing hard to get a multi-year deal done with the legend that is Lionel Messi, right? The Argentine, the World Cup winner, the multiple Champions League winners, the multiple Ballon d'Or winners, the man who has literally won everything that you can as a player. League success, continental success, international success. He's done it all. And they want to solidify him for multiple years. Now, I believe he's 37, might be pushing 38 pretty soon. So he isn't getting any younger. And at this point, what I do firmly believe whoever Messi commits to in this next contract could be his last destination. I don't see Messi playing I don't see him getting another contract. I think that after whatever contract is done, I think that's when he officially hangs it up and ventures into his next life, which would be retiring. Obviously, he owns a team in Uruguay with Luis Suarez, and obviously in his contract with MLS, he does have a stipulation where he can buy an MLS club. He can get ownership of an MLS club. Will it be Miami? I could see Miami being the team because of the fact that he already lives there. He loves Miami. He goes Miami pretty frequently. So it could make all the sense in the world for him to just stay put in Miami, unless there is an MLS a club in MLS that he has more intrigued in, or David Beckham just doesn't offer him a percentage of Inter Miami. But so from what it seems like, and like I said, similar to what I said about the whole Ballon d'Or thing, if there's any updates, I'll probably mention it at some point in this discussion of Messi potentially signing the contract or not. But it seems like they're very close into getting a multi-year deal done. And I think if you're Inter Miami, you're trying hard to get him to sign it because, like I said, there's rumors that if this deal doesn't happen, even though it seems very strongly the deal is going to happen, obviously Saudi Pro League is probably going to be one of the leagues that's going to be discussed for Messi's future. But the also potential of a Barcelona return could be enticing. I just don't know where would he play for Messi. That's the only thing I'm intrigued by. I think if he does go back to Barcelona, it would I don't think he would do a retirement tour. I don't think he has that kind of ego. I could see him do a one day I don't know if that's really common in football, but in other sports, a player will do a one day contract so he can retire as a player of a certain team. For instance, I I believe J.J. Watt did that. So J.J. Watt, Houston Texans defensive lineman, played for after he left the Texans. He went to Arizona, but he hung it up. And then I believe he signed a one-day contract with the Texans so he could officially retire as a Houston Texan. I don't believe now that I say that, I don't think he did. I think it was Andre Johnson that did it. I don't know if J.J. Watt did, but some players, they'll do that to like the club, the team where they started, where they first started playing at, or maybe their hometown team. But more often than not, it's usually the team that has the most significance to them. So I think if maybe Messi is the first player to do that, where he signs a one-day contract with Barcelona just to retire as a Barcelona player, and which, I mean, I don't really think it really matters. I mean, he's already immortalized as a Barcelona player. He is, when now whoever wears that 10 shirt has immense amount of pressure because they have to live up to that 10 shirt. So I mean, it's not necessarily like, I don't think it really matters in football. Like, I think he is a legend in Barcelona. He's like, no one's going to not think of Messi in Barcelona. Like, they're just going to be hand in hand together. Like, same thing like with Diego Maradona. When you think of Diego Maradona, you think of Napoli. When you think of Pele, you think of Santos. When you think of Cristiano Ronaldo, it might be a little tricky. I think so. I think if I had to think about Cristiano Ronaldo, I would say Manchester United. I know that's stupid, especially because he played for Real Madrid. But I think, like, I don't know. I don't think I would ever say, when I look at Cristiano Ronaldo, the first thing I don't think of is Real Madrid. I think of Manchester United. And the list goes on and on for players, but like very much so, when you think of Lionel Messi, you think of Barcelona. And for some people, when you think of Barcelona, you think of Lionel Messi. So it just makes the most sense in the world. That if Messi were to do a one-day contract, which would be, like I said, I just don't think it makes sense, period. Now, if he feels that he can still lace him up and play in La Liga, which but you can watch him in the matches in MLS. Like, it's not the same Messi from before. And it's not like he's playing bad. He's playing phenomenal. I just don't know if he works in the Hansi Flick system. That's where I'm kind of curious about, and I don't think he sees like, oh, I need to be back at Barcelona. I think for him, it's just wherever he goes, wherever he signs, wherever he commits to, like, that's going to be the last place he plays for. Like, I mean, I'm sure some people wish he would want to go back to Newell's Old Boys. Like go to the club where he never really got a chance to play for, and play for his boyhood club in Argentina. But I think something about Miami, that's what is enticing him. That's why they're near the deal. That's why they're close to getting this deal done. They're just trying to get it's kind of like dotting the I's and crossing the T's at this point. At least that's what I'm figuring, because, that's what all I've been hearing is they're near the deal. They're near the deal. Now I can see the okie doke happen. Maybe Messi wants to go to Argentina. Maybe Messi wants to go back to Barcelona. Maybe he really wants that money from Saudi Arabia. I really don't know. But, like, there's something missing on the contract that he's not committing to yet. Now, which is going to be crazy because MLS has been more so than ever been changing the league, has been trying to change the league because of the fact that, like, there's things that Messi just doesn't like about the league. You're seeing that they're going to switch over after the World Cup. They're switching over to a fall spring season. So they'll be more. They're going to be actually in line with the rest of the world as far as their league structure as the season structure goes. I'm sure his issues with the playoff system, MLS is going to correct that, and I'm hoping that we're going to hear what they're going to change with that new season, with the new season schedule being how it's going to be. Maybe they're going to announce how the playoff system is going to look as well. I think that there's going to be a lot of factors coming in, and I think MLS is trying its best to make this league as enticing enough for Messi to stay put. Because like I said, Messi is drawing people. People are flocking over to any game Messi's playing. Like, those ticket prices are ridiculous to go see Messi. So, like I said, I get it. Like, MLS still very much needs Messi. And I mean, if you're Miami, you're about to have a new stadium. Come March 2026, you're going to have a brand new stadium. And, you know, you would like to have that stadium full. And what was going to guarantee it being full is Lionel Messi on the pitch come March 2026. So all that tells me that the reason, like, Inter Miami needs Messi more than Messi needs Inter Miami. Because I'll be honest with you, Messi could just retire. I don't think at this point he has anything to prove. Maybe to the people, maybe to like some of the people that just have despised this Inter Miami team now because of just really all the clout it's getting because of Messi. You know, like, I get that resentment happens, but like, I'll be honest, man, when Messi leaves, this league's going, it's just gonna, like, it didn't keep going. It didn't keep increasing when Beckham left. You know, the same thing with Thierry Henry. It didn't necessarily gain a lot of attention when Thierry Henry was here. I would like to believe that, you know, once Messi leaves, that like the leagues are going to still be watched. But I think that the problem is, to a lot of people just don't view MLS as a good product. And I think it's a lot of people that just don't watch MLS. They just speak about it. Like, they view a few clips that generally make the MLS players look bad. And they're just like, oh, they're not on the same level as Europe, which is totally fair to say. But at the same time, it's still a professional league. These, like, the guys that play professionally, like, I will guarantee you, like, not anybody can go and play against them. Like, these guys are still very much pros. Like, they are still playing at a level that not the average person could play at. But I digress on that part. But yeah, I think Miami needs to get a deal done. Like I said, I think it's more Miami needs it done. More so, Messi doesn't need to sign a new deal. Messi doesn't need to continue to play. Like I said, Messi could look back at his career, and I mean, you know, maybe 2026 is what his eyes on. His eyes are set on. Like, he wants to play in the 2026 World Cup, and then maybe he'll just be like, deuces, guys, what a ride. I can see that. I can honestly really do see that. But on the flip side, I mean, I'm sure people want to see Messi lift an MLS Cup and showcase that he is a class above all else. But we'll see what happens, man. I hope a deal gets done, mainly just because of, you know, going into the 2026 year, going into the World Cup, you want as much hype as you can here in the U.S. for the game. And I know the World Cup is going to sell itself. I know it is. But, like, we need to get more Americans just to, I don't want to say I need, but, like, there needs to be more people to, like, be more open-minded with this game. I hate the people that, like, are so closed out on this game. Oh, that's not real sport. Like, that they just don't understand why the rest of the world loves the sport, and as if, like, their view is that this game sucks. But in reality, if you really truly just watch the game, and I mean, I've sat through football games that maybe some people will call boring, and I've still had I like a good defensive matchup. I watch baseball. I love a good pitcher's duel. You know, like, it's crazy that, you know, people say, like, people call soccer boring because it's low scoring, but yet, you know, there's football games that are very low scoring as well. Like, I mean, have you ever watched an Iowa football game? So, like, that's just my viewpoint on it, you know, like.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon Jerky.
And I think that, like, yes, Messi does help because I think there's a lot of young kids that want to watch Messi, and because they want to watch Messi, their parents have to go and watch this game, and I want them to watch that game and be like, wow, that was a fun game. I want to watch another one. And then, the U.S. has a team, like, let's go support them. Let's support our boys, kind of thing. Like, I know it's never going to happen. Like, I really don't see it ever happening. Like, there's a lot of people that are just dead set that this game's dumb, this game's stupid. Like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't. Because it's crazy that people will watch other sports and say that that's more enticing than this game. Because this game is, like I said, I live for this game. I breathe for this game. Because it's so enjoyable to watch. Like, I love the moments. I love the drama. I love, like, any little slip up can be harmful. Someone can make a mistake leading to a goal, but then immediately can redeem themselves just within that match to prove, like, it's all these things that I love about the game. But I do agree that MLS needs Messi more than Messi needs MLS, and I think that if they can secure a deal and maybe hopefully things get more competitive in MLS makes some good changes. They're already making a good change with the potential changing the season schedule. Now we need to change the playoff format. Now we need to change the roster rules. Now we need to make things, all these things, all these things need to. Now, I'm not saying copy Europe, like, still make it in a way that makes sense to Americans, but we need to make this league, as clear enough where people don't say, "Oh, I can't take this league seriously because they do this." I'm telling you once again, Liga MX, people watch Liga MX, that has a playoff format. People still watch that. Like, I just want to point that out again because I think people keep trying to say, "Oh, the playoff format, that's what ruins it." No, it's not, because Liga MX is a very fun league to watch, and I've never seen anybody like, it just, to me, bothers me with the playoff format. No, I have never heard anybody complain about the playoff format of Liga MX. Well, there's some things to complain about the playoff format of Liga MX, but I've never seen someone say Liga MX is bad because of the playoff format. It's bad because of just the corruption that some of the ownerships have, but aside from that, it's a pretty good league to watch. So that is. But once again, we'll see what happens. We'll see if Messi signs a new contract and how long that contract is going to be. Because once again, I do believe if he does sign an extension, signs a new contract, that's going to be where that's his last contract, and he's going to be riding off the sunset once that contract is over. All right, so Mudryk. So Mudryk was froze out of football back in June for violating the anti-doping rules. And I mean, Mudryk was once viewed as a good promising player, Ukrainian, amazing pace. Was linked to Arsenal, and then Chelsea swooped after him, and now he's froze out for the anti-doping, and it seems to be where Mudryk is now in this fork of the road. Does he continue to push for the football dream? Because, I mean, I'll be honest, Pogba, he got hit with those anti-doping rules as well, and it was a good while before he got back on the pitch. So Mudryk is definitely a lot younger than Paul Pogba, but is he willing to wait that long to get out there? And I think that he was in fact in an interesting fork of the road, because he could just tough it out and try to see if he can get back in football, or pursue something else, which it seems that that's what Mudryk in fact is doing. Now, I'm going to point this out once again. Mudryk is very much known for his pace. He has really good top speed. And maybe not only just as a football player, but maybe for his country, his pace could also be maybe a skill set that could benefit him in another competition. And with that being said, and I don't think that this is him just deciding it. I think clearly he had some people that felt some way about this about Mudryk, especially about his athletic abilities, specifically in his sprinting ability. He has decided to opt in preparation to qualify for the Ukrainian team for the 2028 Summer Olympic Games, which will be held in Los Angeles. I think this is, and obviously it's going to be track and field. Like, he's going to be working on his track and field abilities. I believe the sprint competition, in the sprint category. I don't know if that's a category in track. I'm not a real big track and field guy. I know there's the relays. I know there's the dashes. The 100-meter dash maybe, but I guess maybe sprinter is his thing. But we'll see. But he is going to start training. Now, obviously, it's wrong to assume that he's going to qualify for the Ukrainian Olympic team just because he is really fast. To quote Jose Tejas from Goals TV, he is a pace merchant. So he has really good pace. He's wicked fast. I don't know how many times I've got to mention that about this kid. So I'm not saying that he's going to make the Olympic team. He is going to prepare to qualify for the Olympic team. So he's going through all the right steps into becoming an Olympian. So he's going to do all the training with the track and field coaches. He's going to go to the whatever. I believe you have to go to meets to qualify for, I guess, for like Olympic team selection. So he's going to do it in the right way. And so out of respect to everybody that competes in track and field, I'm not saying that he's going to make the team, but he's going to try his damn hardest to qualify. And I think at some point that's kind of commendable, but I don't know. This is just my viewpoint. Now, I'm not saying he's going to make the team, but, I believe, with his mentality, with his already skill, the ability that he has with his pace, he could definitely probably compete well with some of the best sprinters in Ukraine. And I'm not really that familiar with Ukraine's Olympic team, but he's very young and clearly hungry. But once again, he's going to have the challenge of having to go up against people that have competed in this, have trained for this. And they're not just going to let this guy just walk right into their sport and act like he's going to immediately qualify for the Olympic team. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not assuming that he's going to make the team, because he's got to go up against guys that have very much been in this team, knows what it takes to make it to the Olympic teams. So that is a challenge on his part, is that these guys have been doing track and field for years, while maybe he's and like the thing, I don't know much about Mudryk's like upbringing, but besides him just playing football, like, did he play track and field? And some people may say, like, well, there's a lot of running in football, so he should be able to do it. I'm like, I understand that, but once again, track and field is a whole different thing. Their focus is specifically on running, whereas football it is a combination of other things, not just running, but also obviously footwork, ball control, all the things that are encompassed in football. Now, once again, he has amazing pace, and I think that could help him out if he can definitely, once again, work, and he clearly has the work ethic, right? So if he starts working on it and he starts pushing himself, we could see it. I could agree that we could see it. I'm not saying that it's not outside the realm of possibility. So I'm very much intrigued. So I would love to see what happens with Mudryk. Maybe he gets to represent Ukraine in 2028. Who knows? I think it'll be intriguing. We'll see what happens. But as of right now, that's what he's working on. He is actually, I don't know if he's given up on football per se, but maybe we can see him Maybe we'll see him back one day. I mean, maybe he goes back to Shakhtar, maybe, or you don't know. So that's what I'm intrigued by, and I can't wait for it, man. Like we'll see what happens for him. This guy could be Olympian, come 2028. And there's plenty of time for him to do that. So we'll see what happens there, man. One door closes, the other door opens, man. But obviously with the whole anti-doping thing, maybe he clings his act together for that. So, yeah. But, all right, that is headlines. We'll go ahead and take a break, and then we'll go right into Players of the Week.
I love soccer, Peggy.
Players of the Week is brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is an amazing ticketing site app. However you want to use it is your best convenience. SeatGeek makes things very simple to all your live events. From concerts to sporting events, SeatGeek has you covered. It has a very simple grading system. If the score is very low and very red, so it's colors and numbers, that means for that price, for that event, this guy's ripping you off. Keep searching, keep scrolling. You'll find a better deal. And if you find a score that's very high and very green, that means for that event, those seats, great deal. Go ahead and buy them. Me and Edward love the simplicity of SeatGeek. We love using it for all the events that we go to. And if you guys aren't sold just yet, if you guys don't, simplicity isn't just enough for you. Well, for first-time users, you'll save $20 off your first purchase using the code BellyUpSports at checkout. SeatGeek.com. Use that code BellyUpSports. Save $20 off your first purchase. Some restrictions may apply. My player of the week is Christian Pulisic, who's had 2 goals and assists in AC Milan's 3-0 victory against Udinese. So a good, strong performance from Captain America. So there you go. Edwards' player of the week is Ferran Torres, who scored 2 goals in Barcelona's 3-0 victory against Getafe. Now, for those of you who's going to come out of us and say, hey, wait a minute. Harry Kane had a hat trick. How are you guys not putting him for player of the week? Well, 2 of those goals were off of penalties. That's a factor. It is a factor for us, guys. I'm sorry. 2 goals and assists, I mean, that's basically 3 goals. So, I'm just saying. But anyways, so congratulations to Christian Pulisic and Ferran Torres for being our players of the week. Once again, guys, go to SeatGeek.com. Use that code BellyUpSports for first-time users. Save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek, life's an event. We have the tickets. All right, guys, games to watch this weekend. We got the battle for New York. New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do down in New York. Red Bull New York taking on NYCFC, New York City FC in the MLS. We'll see if New York's going to be red or blue. Jesus Christ, we need to... one day, we just need to change, especially because this is New York. Can we just... Y'all couldn't pick different color schemes like green or yellow. No, it's New York got to be either red or blue. You guys had to do this to me, right? We got to do this, right? New York's got to be red or blue. You couldn't do me a solid here, New York. Couldn't do me a solid. But yeah, we'll find out if New York's red or blue. All right, Seattle Sounders taking on Vancouver Whitecaps. It's a Cascadia rivalry matchup. Seattle Sounders doing very well for themselves. Vancouver Whitecaps, obviously one of the best teams in the MLS as well. We'll see we're getting close to the playoffs, man. We're 3 games away from MLS Cup playoffs, so we'll see who can put themselves in a more favorable position come that road for the MLS Cup. Also in the MLS, we got FC Cincinnati taking on Orlando City SC. 2 really good teams right now in the Eastern Conference going against each other. Once again, it's all about playoff positioning in these final matches of the MLS season. In Mexico, we got America versus Pumas, a little matchup in DF in Liga MX. In Liga 1, we got Strasbourg coming off of a great win against Paris FC, taking on Marseille. And we also have Lille taking on Lyon in Liga 1. In the Bundesliga, we got St. Pauli taking on Bayer Leverkusen and Freiburg taking on Hoffenheim. We'll see what happens there in the Bundesliga. In the Serie A, we got Juventus taking on Atalanta and AC Milan taking on Napoli. Once again, AC Milan coming off of a big win against Udinese. Could they continue that form against a very good opponent in Napoli? We'll see what happens there. In La Liga, we got Jersey bet number 4. We got Spencer versus me, Real Madrid taking on Atletico Madrid. Very juicy matchup. We'll see how that match transpires this weekend. Me and Spencer did tie in the Arsenal Manchester City matchup, so we'll see if things change up in the table from this one. And we have Real Betis taking on Osasuna, and that is La Liga. In the Premier League, we got Crystal Palace, who's looking really good, taking on Liverpool, coming off of a big win in the Merseyside derby. Can they continue their form for that club, Liverpool, who has just been nasty? And also Newcastle United taking on Arsenal. So obviously that's not all the matches being played this weekend, but if you guys need a good beginner's guide, I think we gave you guys some good matchups to look forward to. So there's that. So we're going to take one more break, and then we'll go right into wrapping the show up.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at Belly Up Sports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
All right, guys. Once again, I want to give a big shout out to the Football Content Awards Committee for putting us up for the putting us up as on the short list for their Football Content Awards that's going to happen this year. For you guys, if you guys are wanting to know more about the Football Content Awards, you can check them out on Twitter at the @the_FCAS. So at the_FCAS. That's where you can find them on the X to see all the notifications of what's going on with the awards. Especially if you guys are interested to learn a little bit more about them. And like I said, it's based out of London. It's a really cool opportunity, and I'm really grateful for them for reaching out and showing interest on the pod, and hopefully we can give them good representation. Also check them out on IG, on Instagram, at football.content.awards. That is another place where you can follow them as well. Once again, they're going to announce the nominees pretty soon. Well, by the time this episode drops, the nominees have already been announced. So once again, voting is available. Check out their website. Let me see. I should. Football, the script, podcasting content awards. Yeah, check out their website at footballcontentawards.com, where you can once again be notified of all the things that are happening with this award show, and how to vote. All those things is going to be available on that website. Make sure you guys check it out. Once again, I want to give a shout out to all the judges that took the time to figure out the podcast that the shows that they wanted to nominate. Once again, truly grateful for them. A lot of people that have a massive, experience in the whole content creation aspect of this game. Also, shout out to Nicole Holiday. She is going to be the host for the 2025 awards. So, like I said, check out footballcontentawards.com so you can go ahead and cast your vote. Hopefully, you guys vote for us for Best Podcast International in the international category. We would definitely love to do this. Once again, we're just happy to be even nominated. That is already just a big feeling for me. So, like I said, man, this podcast was just an idea for me, and Didn't think much of it and didn't know what it was going to lead for me. Didn't think it was going to lead me to some great people, like the people of Belly Up Sports, people of Goals TV, and now the people of Football Content Awards, man. I'm just very grateful and very blessed to show that we're doing something somewhat right. So I really appreciate that. But check them out once again, Football Content Awards, footballcontentawards.com, so you guys can learn a little bit more about what they're all about. Belly Up Sports, man, check out their website, bellyupsports.com. Lots of great articles constantly being written. Obviously, NFL, NCAA football is going on. Baseball's near its tail end. I don't know why I pointed this way. You guys don't know. But I'm currently watching the Astros get swept by the Seattle Mariners. But, yeah, so check out all the content over there. Check out their YouTube channel, bellyupsports.com. Bellyupsports.com. Check out their YouTube channel, Belly Up Sports. Also follow them on Instagram and X at Belly Up Sports. So you can see what all the stuff that's going on over there at Belly Up, man. They're doing some great things over there, and I can't wait for it to continue to grow. Also, Goals TV, golz.tv. Check out their website. It is an amazing streaming platform service. It is free to subscribe right now, so go ahead and take advantage of all the great content that is being dropped over there at Goals TV. Obviously Jose Tejas has come on the show from time to time. If you guys really like all that, go ahead and check it out, man. Check out, once again, the website, golz.tv, golz.tv. Follow them on the X at goals_TV, golz_TV, and on Instagram at goals.tv, golz.tv. So you can see all that's going on over there at Goals TV, from their content from Wake Up MLS, Unleashed with Eric Winalda, all the content that they cover on USL, all that stuff. Go ahead and check it out over there. And of course, man, we can't talk about this podcast without Roosevelt Spencer. He is the namesake of the Roosevelt Spencer Player of the Year Award. We love Spencer so much that we named the award after him. And I mean, for all that he does, which is providing great beats. So if you guys like the beats that we have for our intros and outros, and you guys need some beat work done, because I guarantee you guys, if you guys have a podcast, if you guys have a YouTube channel, copyright is a bitch. So, sorry for cussing, Kelsey. So, if you guys want to avoid the copyright, get your own original beats, and Spencer is the guy, man. If you guys need some beat work done, hit up Spencer once again at ThatGuyDope on Instagram, at ThatGuyDope. Message him, tell him, hey, love the beats. The guys from Inter Miami and Mudryk sent us. We want some beat work done. Please help us. And he will take great care of you like he always does with us. We love him so much that he is the namesake of our Player of the Year award. So, what are you waiting for, man? Go hit him up. Go. What are you doing? Why are you still on here? Go on Instagram, ThatGuyDope. Once again, ThatGuyDope, and give him some love, man. So, all right. With all that being said, man, thank you so much for listening. Catch us next week for episode 232 with Edward and potentially an interview. Take care, guys.